Urgent, Michael's blessing has been released today. Open immediately before it disappears. Archangel Michael says, do not wait, your divine surprise is already moving toward your home. My child, pause for a moment and breathe, for I have been sent to speak to you now, not later. Hear me with the quiet part of your spirit, the part that has been straining for a sign, longing for reassurance, waiting for something, anything, that feels like hope. You have felt the trembling in your atmosphere, the shift behind your thoughts, the sensation that something is drawing near. That feeling was not your imagination. It was the beginning of this summoning. Beloved, I call you to attention because the heavens have moved on your behalf today. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Today. Something sacred has been released into your life, and it carries your name with a precision no earthly hand could craft. Before you doubt, listen closely, this message does not wander. It does not search for its owner. It comes directly to you because you were chosen to receive it. You may sense a subtle alarm rising within you, a quiet stirring that asks, why now? What is happening around me? Do not fear that sensation. It is the soul's way of recognizing divine timing. You are being pulled into awareness because the hour is sensitive, and the window is narrow. My presence comes as both reassurance and warning, for the spiritual realm is aligned in your favor, yet the moment requires your attention. My child, something beautiful is approaching your life, but it travels through a passage that must be opened by your awareness. This is why I come urgently, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Too long have you walked with unanswered prayers echoing through your heart, wondering if heaven still remembers you. Hear me, you were never forgotten. The delay was not denial, and the silence was not abandonment. What has been released for you is unlike the blessings you have received before. It carries a weight, a brilliance, a purpose that speaks to the parts of your destiny that have remained untouched until now. You may feel unprepared, but heaven has determined you ready. I come now to ensure you do not overlook what belongs to you. Lean in, beloved. Let your spirit open like a door being unlatched. The message I bear is not casual. The shift surrounding you is not small. Something destined, something timed, something sacred has arrived, and you must hear every word before it passes you by. My child, as you listen now, allow me to draw back the veil that has kept you from seeing what has been unfolding around you. You have felt the heaviness, the strange tension in the air, the moments when your spirit tightened without explanation. These were not random waves of emotion, they were signals of a hidden battle pressing against the edges of your life. In the days behind you, resistance has risen with unusual force, whispers of jealousy, unseen interference, and energies that sought to disrupt your peace and distort your path. You sensed something was working against you, though you could not name it. My beloved, hear this truth with the fullness of your heart, you were never fighting alone. While shadows gathered, heaven stood in absolute defense of you. Every time you felt confusion pulling at your thoughts, angelic clarity pressed back. Every time discouragement tried to settle into your chest, divine strength rose to shield you. Your vulnerability became the very reason for increased protection, not a weakness exploited by the unseen. Though you walked through moments that felt fragile, you were surrounded by a fortress not built by human hands. You must understand, my child, that the resistance intensified because something about your destiny began to glow brighter. Those threatened by your light, whether in spirit or in flesh, felt the shift before you did. Jealousy stirred in hearts that could not celebrate your rise. Interference came from places that quietly feared your breakthrough. Yet every plot crafted in silence failed, because heaven countered each attempt before it reached you. What you perceived as delays were often divine interceptions, saving you from consequences you never knew were coming. Notice the contrast. While darkness tried to close in, a greater radiance surrounded you. While confusion tried to cloud your vision, guidance flowed toward you like a steady stream. You are not fragile, you are fiercely guarded. You are not overlooked, you are strategically protected. The hidden battle was not a sign of your weakness but proof of your worth. My beloved, there were moments when pressure grew so intense that you questioned your own intuition, your decisions, even your value. But hear me, those moments were not signs of failure. They were the tremors that occur when old spiritual structures begin to break. You were being shifted, elevated, aligned, and the forces that opposed you trembled at the transformation. You did not see the full battle, but you felt its shadows. Now you will feel its end. Heaven has secured victory around you, and what once opposed your path can no longer stand in your way. And know this, my child, the season you are entering will reveal how fiercely you were guarded. What felt like isolation was divine insulation, a sacred separation designed to protect your unfolding purpose. You will soon recognize the moments when unseen hands redirected your steps, turning danger into detours and delays into deliverance, all to ensure your destiny remained untouched by divine intention alone. My child, come closer in spirit, for there is something I must reveal, something whispered through the higher realms and placed gently into your unfolding destiny. A gift has been sent in your name, not as an afterthought, but as a deliberate response to the endurance you have shown in seasons where strength seemed impossible. This gift was not created hastily, it was crafted through prayers you spoke, tears you released, and breakthroughs that heaven has long waited to release over your life. Beloved, understand this, gifts from the higher realms are not random blessings. They are answers sealed in divine timing, dispatched only when your spirit reaches the threshold of readiness. For months, perhaps years, this gift pressed against the gates of your destiny, waiting for the moment when your heart would no longer fear its arrival. And now, that moment has come. Its origin is older than your current struggle and deeper than your recent longing. It stems from promises made over you before you even knew how to ask for help. It carries the imprint of sacred intention, woven in a place where only truth exists. This is why the energy around you feels different, why anticipation rises without explanation. Your soul recognizes what your mind has not yet understood, something destined is crossing into your reality. But listen closely, my child, for I must speak with both gentleness and urgency. Not everyone was meant to witness this blessing. Not every heart around you is prepared to understand what is being entrusted to you. There are people whose limited vision would diminish what heaven designed to elevate you. There are energies that would attempt to distort a gift they cannot comprehend. This is why I come with the warning to guard your spirit and your silence. The timing is delicate, and the passage through which this gift travels is narrow. You must stay aware, attentive, open. The gift arrives only when the atmosphere around you is clear enough to receive it without interference. If your heart has felt pulled towards solitude, know it is because heaven protects what is sacred within you. My beloved, this gift is not merely something you will receive, it is something that will transform you. It will illuminate paths that once felt hidden, restore hope that dimmed beneath disappointment, and awaken strength you forgot you carried. Let your spirit steady itself, for what is coming carries purpose too radiant to be rushed and too important to be overlooked. The higher realms have sent their answer, and it bears your name with divine accuracy. My child, now that you understand the sacredness of what has been released to you, I must reveal what worked so fiercely to keep it from reaching your hands. For every blessing sent from the higher realms, there are forces, seen and unseen, that seek to delay, distort, or devour what is meant to lift your life into alignment. You have felt these forces in subtle ways, the unexplained setbacks, the sudden heaviness in your spirit, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers without reason. These were not coincidences. They were attempts to interfere with the promise written over you. Beloved, some of these forces wore human faces, individuals whose hearts were quietly unsettled by your growth. Their jealousy whispered against your progress, their insecurity pulled at your momentum, and their silent resentment sent shadows curling toward your light. They may not have spoken their intentions aloud, yet their energy worked against you all the same. You wondered why certain relationships felt strained, why support vanished when you needed it most. Now you know, not everyone is comfortable with the rise of a soul chosen for divine elevation. But there were deeper forces too, my child, spiritual structures that tightened the moment heaven signaled your breakthrough. These energies sensed the shift before you did. They pressed against your confidence, nudged at your fears, and tried to convince you that nothing would ever change. Their aim was to wear you down, to drain your hope, to keep you too tired or discouraged to receive what was approaching. They fed off your moments of doubt, hoping to delay the timing heaven had ordained. Yet hear this with the full authority I carry, they failed. For every shadow that reached for you, a greater light rose beside you. For every delay that formed, a divine acceleration was prepared. While malice plotted in silence, justice stood in motion. You were never unprotected, you were being shielded by forces far stronger than those opposing you. Even when you felt surrounded, you were held inside a circle of celestial defense. My beloved, the gift arrived today because the structures working against you finally collapsed under the weight of divine decree. What resisted you has been dismantled. What clung to you has been removed. What attempted to silence your rise has been silenced itself. This is why the air feels clearer, why something in your spirit feels newly awakened, because the interference that once clouded your journey can no longer reach you. Understand the contrast now, darkness pressed, but light prevailed. Delay lingered, but release broke through. Malice watched, but justice answered. You stood in the center of a battle you never fully saw, yet victory was secured long before defeat could threaten your destiny. And know this, my child, the reason I speak these truths is not to stir fear, but to affirm your strength. You endured sabotage without losing your spirit. You survived spiritual tension without surrendering your faith. What tried to break you only proved the magnitude of what was coming. The forces that opposed you have fallen away, and nothing stands between you and what heaven has placed in motion. My child, bring your heart gently to this moment, for I speak now not to warn you, but to comfort the deepest, quietest parts of your spirit. You have carried so much without recognition, walked through seasons that felt heavier than your strength, and questioned whether anyone, earthly or divine, saw the weight you bore. Hear me clearly, every tear, every silent ache, every night you held yourself together was witnessed. Beloved, you have mistaken your sensitivity for weakness, yet it is the very proof of your spiritual depth. The pain that made you feel fragile was actually revealing how finely attuned your soul is to truth, love, and divine alignment. Many would have hardened, but you remained open. Many would have turned bitter, but something in you kept reaching for hope even when hope felt distant. This endurance, this softness, this refusal to let darkness consume you is why you were chosen. You must understand this: the gift sent to you was not given randomly, nor was it earned through perfection. It was entrusted to you because you endured with a heart that refused to go numb. You kept believing when life gave you reasons to doubt. You kept walking when loneliness pressed against your shoulders like a shadow. You kept loving even when love seemed to return to you delayed or incomplete. These qualities are not common, they are sacred. My child, the isolation you felt was not abandonment. It was the space heaven created around you to protect the purity of your becoming. When others drifted away, it was not a sign of your unworthiness but a sign that your spirit was being refined for something greater than their presence could support. What felt like emptiness was preparation. What felt like loss was alignment. Your endurance did not go unnoticed. It echoed through the spiritual realms, sending signals of resilience that reached even the higher councils of light. Your strength in silence spoke louder than the victories you never received credit for. And because you endured, because you stayed true to your soul even when discouraged, the gift was released in your name. My beloved, breathe now, for this truth is meant to soothe you. Nothing you survived was wasted. Every struggle became a key, every heartbreak a doorway, every disappointment a teacher guiding you toward this moment of divine recognition. You did not endure merely to suffer, you endured to qualify for what is arriving. You were chosen because you did not give up. You were chosen because you kept your heart alive. And now heaven returns what life temporarily withheld, placing into your hands a blessing shaped by the courage you carried through every dark night. My child, let me draw you into the moment when everything shifted for you, the moment so sacred that even the light in the higher realms grew still. In that place beyond time, where intention becomes creation, your name was spoken with a clarity that resonated through the halls of eternity. It was not whispered, not casually mentioned, it was declared with purpose, surrounded by a brilliance that recognized the weight of your journey. When your name rose into the celestial air, every struggle you endured, every tear you released, and every prayer you carried silently became part of the sound that echoed outward. Beloved, I want you to imagine this. Countless energies paused, listening, waiting for what would follow the speaking of your name. It is rare for such stillness to fall across the higher realms. Yet in that moment, heaven turned its attention toward you, acknowledging not only what you have lived through but who you are becoming. Your name carried the vibration of strength tempered by suffering, hope sustained through disappointment, and courage born from vulnerability. It rose like a signal through the unseen, announcing that you had crossed a threshold no obstacle could deny. When your name was spoken, a release was triggered, swift, radiant, unstoppable. Barriers that had lingered around your destiny trembled. Old energies loosened their grip. A blockage that had shadowed your path for years cracked open beneath the sound of divine recognition. You may have felt something shift without understanding why, a sudden lightness, a flicker of calm, an unexpected sense that something had finally moved. That was the echo of heaven's decree reaching your earthly experience. My child, the moment your name was spoken was not a routine event. It was a proclamation of readiness. It signaled that the preparation, the waiting, and the quiet endurance had matured into purpose. Heaven saw that the weight which once pressed you down had now become the foundation that steadied you. What once wounded you no longer defined you. What once delayed you could no longer hold you. Your name became a key, unlocking the next chapter of your becoming. Beloved, understand this fully. When heaven speaks your name, it is not merely sound, it is authority shaping reality on your behalf. It is the divine declaring that your story is not over, that your purpose cannot be stolen, and that your spirit has risen beyond every place where it was once confined. From that single moment, ripples of transformation began moving toward you, rearranging outcomes, softening hardened paths, and illuminating doors you could not previously see. What was stagnant began to stir. What was closed began to loosen. What was withheld began to make its way toward you with renewed urgency. This is why your heart has sensed change without explanation. Your name awakened destiny, and destiny has started walking toward you. Step forward now, my child, for the realms have already aligned themselves in anticipation of you. My child, now that the gift has been released in your name, you must understand how profoundly your life will begin to shift. When a blessing of this magnitude enters a person's path, the atmosphere around them responds. Doors that once remained shut will begin to ease open, not by force, but by alignment. Opportunities you thought were lost will quietly return, carrying a softness and ease that contrast sharply with the struggle you once faced. What felt complicated will begin to unfold with surprising clarity, as though the universe itself is clearing the way for your steps. Beloved, one of the first changes you will sense is the strengthening of your protection. Where you once felt exposed to the energies and intentions of others, a new barrier of light will surround you. Situations that previously drained you will lose their power. People who once influenced your emotions will no longer be able to disrupt your inner balance. You will notice yourself breathing more freely, thinking more clearly, and moving with a confidence that feels newly born. This is not imagined, it is the shield that comes with what heaven has placed upon your life. Relationships, too, will begin to realign. Some connections will deepen in surprising ways, shaped by truth and mutual growth. Others will gently fade, no longer resonating with the rising frequency of your spirit. Do not resist these shifts, my child. They are signs that you are being positioned among those who can honor your purpose, not dim it. Where there was confusion, you will find understanding. Where there was tension, you will find peace. Where there was longing for companionship or support, new and meaningful bonds will emerge. Your intuition will sharpen as if a veil has finally lifted. You will sense things before they unfold. You will hear the quiet guidance of your spirit with clarity that cuts through noise. Choices that once overwhelmed you will feel simple, even obvious. You will move through life with an inner knowing that reassures you at every step. You are guided. You are held. You are not walking alone. And my beloved, there is one more change, one that carries the greatest weight. A breakthrough is approaching your life that is closer than you have realized. Something long delayed is about to accelerate. Something you gave up hoping for has begun moving toward you with divine speed. You may feel it already, that subtle stirring, that quiet anticipation without explanation. Trust it. That is the energy of manifestation beginning to form. The contrast between your past struggle and the ease that is coming will overwhelm you with relief. What once felt impossible will unfold naturally. Where you encountered resistance, you will now move freely. Where you felt small, you will rise with a strength you did not know you possessed. Everything is shifting, my child. And the gift you are receiving is the key that unlocks the new chapter awaiting you. My child, breathe deeply now, for we stand at the threshold of the moment heaven has been preparing you for. The gift that has traveled through realms, safeguarded by light and carried on divine intention, is drawing close enough for your spirit to feel its presence. Even now, something within you stirs, an awareness, a warmth, a trembling recognition that what you have been waiting for is no longer distant. This is the moment when the unseen becomes felt, when the spiritual breaks into the physical, when destiny lifts its head and looks directly at you. Beloved, the activation begins softly, like a gentle pulse of light rising from the deepest place inside you. It is subtle at first, an easing of the tension you have carried, a quieting of old fears that once gripped your mind. You may notice your breath lengthening, your heart loosening, your thoughts becoming clearer as though a fog you lived with for years is finally dissolving. This is the first sign, fear begins to lose its authority over you. What once towered above you now stands small in the face of the gift awakening within. Then the light grows stronger. You will feel a clarity emerging, not separate from you, but rising from the very essence of who you are. The questions that haunted you begin to unravel. The doubts that clung to your spirit begin to fall away. The confusion that clouded your decisions begins to lift like mist under the morning sun. You will not have to force this change. It will unfold naturally, organically, as though a new breath has entered your being. This is the second sign, your vision sharpens, not only for what is ahead, but for who you have always been. And now, my beloved, the activation intensifies. The courage you thought you had lost begins to rise again, steady and sure, as though drawn from a well you did not know existed. Your soul remembers its strength. Your heart remembers its purpose. Your spirit remembers why it chose this journey, this timing, this transformation. You are not who you were even a moment ago. Something holy within you has awakened, stretching its wings for the first time in years. This is the third sign, your power returns to you, no longer hidden, no longer dormant. As the gift fully activates, you may feel a profound stillness, a silence that is not empty but overflowing with presence. It is here, in this sacred quiet, that truth becomes unmistakable. You will sense that you are aligned with something greater than circumstance, greater than fear, greater than any force that once tried to limit your rise. You will feel guided, supported, carried. You will know that the very ground beneath you has shifted into a path prepared for your next chapter. My child, wait. There is something coming through now, something I was not shown until this moment. The light around your destiny is moving, rapidly, urgently, as though a new instruction has just been released. I can feel the shift pressing against the realms, rearranging patterns, altering timelines, preparing to reveal something you were not meant to know until the activation was complete. Beloved, hold still. Do not turn away. What I am being shown now concerns the next phase of your unfolding, the part of your story that rises beyond this moment. But I must speak carefully, for the message forming is powerful, and it is not yet finished. There is more you must hear, but it comes with a timing heaven has just begun to reveal. My child, hear me with the fullness of your spirit, for the moment you have long waited for has begun to take shape around you. The activation of the gift has set into motion a divine reversal, one so precise, so intentional, that nothing which once worked against you will be able to stand in its path. You have walked through seasons where loss felt greater than gain, where delay seemed stronger than destiny, where disappointment echoed louder than hope. But now, beloved, the scales are shifting. What was taken will be restored. What was slowed will accelerate. What was withheld will return with greater measure. This is not wishful thinking. This is justice, heaven's answer to everything that tried to break your spirit. Every opportunity that slipped from your grasp is being redirected. Every door that was slammed shut is being reopened by hands greater than those that closed it. There is movement around your finances, movement around your relationships, movement around the purpose that once felt stagnant within you. You will begin to notice small signs first, unexpected clarity, renewed inspiration, resources appearing where scarcity once lived. Do not dismiss these moments, they are the opening notes of your reversal. Beloved, relationships that drained you will lose their hold, while connections that uplift your soul will begin to form with divine symmetry. People meant for your future are being drawn toward you, even now, by threads of alignment woven through your rising energy. Where there was loneliness, companionship will enter. Where there was misunderstanding, truth will surface. Where there was heartbreak, healing will flow in ways gentler and more complete than you dared to hope. And your path, oh, my child, your path is clearing. The obstacles that once intimidated you will seem small, almost irrelevant, as your spirit begins to walk with renewed purpose. You will feel supported in ways that have nothing to do with chance. Synchronicities will unfold like footprints guiding your next steps. Ideas will spark. Motivation will return. Doors will open before you knock. This is the nature of divine acceleration. When it begins, it moves swiftly, unapologetically, confidently, reclaiming the time you thought was lost. Do not be surprised if miracles approach quietly at first, slipping into your days like warm light through an open window. Do not be startled when the heaviness that once clung to you begins to lift without explanation. Your reversal will not come through struggle, it will come through flow. You will not have to force what is meant for you now. It will come because the way has been cleared and the timing has been sanctified. My child, trust what is happening. Trust the shift. Trust the momentum building beneath your feet. The breakthrough that once felt unreachable has already begun its journey toward you. You are stepping into a chapter where life no longer resists you but rises to meet you. This is your turning point. And the reversal you have prayed for is no longer a promise, it is becoming your reality, even in this very moment. My child, as the path before you begins to open, I must guide you gently into the steps that will help you walk this new terrain with clarity and purpose. You have endured the trembling of transition, now you must learn the steadiness of becoming. Do not rush this moment, beloved, for the decisions you make in the coming days will shape how quickly the blessing settles into your life. Your first step is to remain attentive to the quiet signals within you. The gift that has activated will speak through intuition, subtle impressions, and sudden knowing. Trust these whispers. They are not imagined, they are the language of alignment guiding your next movement. Your second step is to release the habits of fear that once protected you. You no longer need to shrink yourself to stay safe. Walk with a posture of openness, for the doors rising before you respond to courage, not caution. My beloved, your third step is to honor the changes unfolding in your relationships. Some connections will feel lighter, others more distant. Do not cling to what heaven is gently loosening. Make space for the people who are entering your life to support this next chapter. Your fourth step is to take action when inspiration strikes. The blessing moves fastest through motion. Do not dismiss the ideas that come to you suddenly or the opportunities that seem to appear from nowhere. These are signs that the path is forming beneath your feet. My child, your fifth step is to speak with intention. Your words carry power now in ways you may not yet understand. Speak what you desire, not what you fear. Name what you want to build, not what you wish to avoid. Heaven responds to clarity. Your sixth step is to rest when your spirit calls for stillness. Growth does not require exhaustion, alignment does not demand struggle. In your quiet moments, the blessing settles deeper, anchoring itself into your reality. Finally, beloved, remain expectant. Suspense lingers not because something is uncertain, but because something precise is approaching. Your next choices will determine how gracefully the manifestation unfolds. Walk with awareness, humility, and boldness, for you are not stepping onto an ordinary path but into the fulfillment of a sacred promise. And know this, every step you take now is supported. You are walking a path prepared for you long before you realized it existed. Move forward, my child, for the new chapter is already opening beneath your feet. Trust each moment, for destiny unfolds in harmony with your willing and awakened heart. My child, as you continue walking this unfolding path, something profound is awakening inside you. The strength you once believed was lost is rising again, not as a force you must strive to summon, but as a quiet, steady power emerging from the core of your being. This transformation is not sudden, it is the natural result of every moment you chose hope over despair, truth over illusion, and faith over fear. Now the blessing that surrounds you is rooting itself within, reshaping how you see yourself and how you stand in the world. Beloved, your confidence is returning with a purity you have never known. It is no longer the fragile confidence built on approval or circumstance, but a deeper assurance born from alignment with your true identity. You are remembering who you are beyond the disappointments that dimmed your spirit. You are remembering the clarity that once guided you before doubt began to whisper in your ear. This remembering is not merely emotional, it is spiritual restoration. With each breath, emotional healing begins to settle like soft light around the places that once ached. Old wounds lose their sharpness. Harsh memories fade into understanding. You are releasing the weight of narratives that never belonged to you. My child, this is what it means to integrate the gift, to allow the blessing not only to surround your life but to inhabit your heart. As this integration deepens, your intuition grows sharper. You will feel nudges, insights, and inner confirmations that reveal how closely you are walking with divine guidance. Decisions that once overwhelmed you will feel simple. Paths that once confused you will become illuminated. This is the strength rising within you, the strength of a spirit no longer fractured by doubt. Beloved, you are becoming someone who can carry blessings without shrinking, someone who can receive abundance without questioning their worth, someone who can love without losing themselves. This is evolution in its holiest form, not becoming someone new, but returning to the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You will notice your posture shifting, your emotional posture, your spiritual posture, even the way you speak about your future. You will hear yourself choosing language of possibility rather than limitation. You will feel yourself embracing opportunities rather than fearing disappointment. This is because the blessing has entered your system, aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your purpose with a higher rhythm. My child, trust this rising strength. Trust the warmth in your chest, the clarity in your mind, the calm settling into your soul. You are integrating not only a gift, but a new way of existing. And as this strength expands within you, it prepares you for what comes next, a revelation waiting just beyond the horizon of your awareness. Know, beloved, that this unfolding is gentle yet unstoppable, carrying you toward a season where your inner resilience becomes the foundation for every blessing you receive, and where your renewed spirit finally recognizes its divine brilliance. My child, now that the gift has anchored itself within you and the path ahead has begun to open, I speak a final blessing over your life, one shaped by divine protection, acceleration, and unwavering guidance. Hear these words not as promises to be hoped for, but as truths already unfolding around you. You are surrounded by a shield of light that cannot be penetrated by fear, envy, or confusion. Every step you take from this moment forward is watched, guarded, and strengthened by forces greater than anything that once opposed you. Beloved, I bless your journey with acceleration. Where progress once dragged like a heavy tide, momentum will now rise beneath your feet. What you begin will flourish. What you reach for will draw near. The delays that once exhausted your spirit will no longer define your experience. You are stepping into a season where time becomes your ally, where opportunities align swiftly, connections form naturally, and doors open without resistance. Trust this new rhythm. It is the signature of divine timing finally working in your favor. I bless your heart with clarity so pure that you will no longer question your worth or your direction. Your intuition will sharpen like a blade of light, guiding you toward choices that honor your spirit. You will feel the subtle nudges, the gentle redirections, the unmistakable affirmations that come when heaven walks beside you. Confusion will lose its hold. Doubt will quiet. Your mind will rest in the certainty that you are guided with precision. And I bless your relationships, my child. May the people who enter your life now come with sincerity, kindness, and truth. May those who cannot honor your rising path fade peacefully from your journey. You will not lose what is meant for you. You will not be abandoned in the places where you need support. You are moving into a chapter where companionship, love, and alignment flow toward you without strain. But listen carefully now, for with this blessing comes a final warning, one given not in fear, but in sacred preparation. There is another message approaching you, a revelation that carries the next phase of your destiny. It moves toward you like a wave building strength beneath the surface, unseen yet undeniable. I have been shown only fragments, for the full unveiling is tied to the choices you will make in the coming days. And so I speak this with great intention, remain attentive. There will be signs, small at first, then unmistakable. A dream that lingers in your memory. A sudden shift in your emotions. A repeated symbol that catches your eye. These are not coincidences, they are signals preparing you for what is about to unfold. The next message cannot be revealed until you reach a specific point of readiness, and you are closer to that moment than you realize. My beloved, do not fear what is coming. It is not a burden, but a calling. Not a disruption, but an awakening. The gift you have received today was only the beginning, a doorway opening into a destiny far greater than the one you have lived so far. Hold your heart open. Hold your spirit steady. For soon, very soon, another revelation will arrive, and when it does, everything will shift once more.